I'd like to welcome everyone to Trinity Football League Fantasy Football. I hope everyone had a great week. Had a pretty good week last week myself. Got the win, and plus was 6-0 in my picks. So I feel real good about that. It gives me a 25-11 record for the year, and sort of makes for a nice week. A lot of activity on the waiver wire this week. Gracious, everybody seemed to be getting into it. It's coming down to crunch time, so to speak. Everything's beginning to come together. We've had a couple of trades. I'll get into those in just a little bit as we go along in our picks, and I think they will help all persons involved, and we'll just see how it goes from there. I'm not going to have a whole lot to say regarding the league this week before I get into my picks. Just wanted to say congratulations to our winners last week, and condolences, of course, to the losers. Hopefully we'll have a better week this week, right? Excuse me. Anyway, let's get into the last week, our trophies. If you haven't noticed already, our trophies last week, the Tough Break Award went to the Intimidators. They scored 112 points in a losing effort. I told you this was going to be the game of the week between them and the Shake and Bake, and it certainly was. 116 to 112. Great week for both of them. Too bad that the Intimidators had to be playing the Shake and Bake this week, because otherwise they would have had the victory. But our Lucky Dog Award winner for the week was Craig, Trinity War Dogs. Congratulations to him for pulling out his victory there. Only had to score 70 points to do it. Congratulations to him. The Top Dog Award, of course, goes to Ian's Shake and Bake team. Scored 116 points in a winning effort. Wonderful week for him. Great scoring out of his team. And unfortunately, the Donkey Award this week goes to the Ligers. Had a bad week. Things just didn't come together, and things are going to fluctuate now for the next several weeks because we've got a lot of buys. A lot of important players are going to be on bye. This week is no exception to that. There are going to be a lot of important players on bye, and it's going to affect our team scores, and it's going to affect some results, unfortunately, probably for some owners. But let's go ahead and get into our predictions for the week. The first one we've got is Mike's Italian Stallions versus the Archdale Intimidators. Intimidators coming off of that hard luck loss last week, and have a couple of important pieces of their puzzle on bye this week. They're going to be missing Calvin Johnson, which is an important piece, and going to be missing the Jets defense, which has done real well for them. But they've got some capable replacements coming in there, and I believe that the Intimidators will bounce back this week. I think they will get the measure of the Stallions, but it's going to be close. The Stallions are going to be hurt by not having Joseph Adai available, does it look like. A lot of injuries this past week too, and during the week. We've had several injuries here during the week that are going to influence rosters, but the Stallions are going to probably be without Joseph Adai, so they're going to have to find a replacement there. They've got one on their bench, looks like that they can use, but nonetheless, I believe that the Intimidators will get the best of the Stallions this week. Our next matchup is the Westover Wallaroos, Rob Hicks' team. And Rob, I'm looking forward to meeting you one day. Hopefully we can get together and meet up. Hope maybe even before the next draft, but seems like that's the only time we seem to get together unless we're family there. But anyway, Rob's Westover Wallaroos are going to play Dustin Welch's T-Ville Ligers. And there was a trade this week involving the Ligers. I traded Matt Forte and Johnny Knox, got rid of my Bears, and got a couple players from the Ligers. I got Willis McGahee and Hakeem Nicks. But as far as what the Ligers picked up, they were able to pick up Matt Forte. Now, they have some good running backs, but they've had a lot of running back injury problems. No, Sean Marino's been down with injury. Pierre Thomas, don't know when he'll be back. and so the Ligers felt like they needed to make a move to shore up the running back spot there, and they were able to pick up a good one in Matt Forte. And they did have, quite a few wide receiver options. So, and I needed the wide receiver, so it kind of worked out for both of us there. Anyway, the Ligers picked up Matt Forte, and I believe they will take the measure of the Wallaroos this week. It's going to be a close one, but I believe that the Wallaroos are going to be hurt probably by Dallas Clark's injury. Don't know exactly what all that's about. I think he hurt his hand in the last game there, but he's had surgery and he's going to be out for several weeks. That's another one of those surprise things that come up in the last day or two regarding injuries. And injuries are part of the game, and we hate to see them in fantasy football. I know if y'all been keeping up with football any this week, you'll know about the hard hits and the crackdown the NFL has had on hard hits, trying to eliminate some of these concussions. And if you've seen some of these hits that were that happened over the weekend, you'll realize that this is a concern, that's something that needed to be addressed, and the NFL addressed it. I don't know if they did the best job of it, but anyway, they addressed it and tried to eliminate some of those illegal hits, cheap shot type hits. But anyway, I think the Ligers will get the best of the Wallaroos this week. The next matchup is my Fairgrove Mad Dogs versus L-Town Beatdown. L-Town almost got them their second win this past weekend, only losing to 8 points to Craig's Wallaroos. Craig's War Dogs. And L-Town's catching me at a pretty good time this week without Matt Schaub, and I'm going to be without Pierre Garcon. And but I was able to pick up Hakeem Nicks, and I did lose some running back depth. Marshawn Lynch kind of helped me by getting traded to Seattle. Kind of helps me in that regard, and gave me just a little bit of a cushion there. And I'd been struggling back and forth whether to use Jamal Charles or Matt Forte. Well, now I've taken that. I've taken away that problem by just trading away Forte, and hopefully I picked up a good wide receiver, and that will enable me to compensate for the loss of Forte, because it seemed like I was struggling whether to use Jamal Charles or Matt Forte. Now I don't have that decision to make anymore. But I'm missing a key piece this week. I'm missing Matt Schaub, my quarterback. Had to pick up Josh Freeman, which I had a bad waiver wire spot, so I missed out on Kevin Cobb and I missed out on Matt Castle. But anyway, hopefully Josh Freeman will put up a few points, and I can get some points from Maurice Jones-Drew. He hasn't done that well this year, but hopefully this week he can come through for me and pick up a few points. And also Larry Fitzgerald's coming off a bye. Hopefully he'll get back to his old self. I don't know how he's going to do with a rookie quarterback. But anyway, hopefully I can pull out this win. I think I can, but it remains to be seen. It's no lock, that's for sure. So we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But I believe I'll get the win this week. I hope so anyway. The next matchup is the Thomasville Jokers, Dwight's team, versus the Craven Pines Soaring Condors. Craven Pines come off a big win last week, and the Jokers have looked good at times, and but they've got a couple of guys out on bye. They're going to be missing Nate Burleson. I'm sure they've got a good replacement there for Nate. And Craven Pines picked up a good quarterback there in Kevin Cobb to take over for Mark Sanchez now that he's on bye. But they are going to be missing a big piece in Andre Johnson. But they have enough wide receiver depth, I believe, that they'll be able to take the measure of the Jokers this week. So I look for the Condors to pull out a win over the Jokers this Sunday or this weekend. The next matchup, another big matchup involving Shake and Bake. Last week they had the one-loss Intimidators. They were able to beat them 116-112. Well, they go from the frying pan to the fire this week by facing the other one-loss team, which is the Avengers. This will sort of be for bragging rights of the regular season, so to speak. Sort of who's going to be who has the best team of the regular season as these two 5-1 teams face off. It'll be a real good matchup. The only problem that I see is that the Avengers are missing a key piece. The Avengers are missing Peyton Manning, their quarterback, but they were able to pick up Matt Castle, who is one of the hot pickups this week for a bye week replacement. And I think he will do very well in that spot. Ian is going to be missing Arian Foster this week, and we'll have to plug in what they call the law firm, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis, at his other running back spot. But I believe when all's said and done, and this will be the game of the week part 2, I believe that the Shake and Bake will run the gauntlet and beat the Intimidators last week, and they will beat the Avengers this week. And so I look for Ian to prevail, but just barely. And actually, this matchup may hinge on Ray Rice, to tell you the truth. I understand that last week that Ray had a little bit of a knee problem. This week he seems to have something wrong with his ankle during practice that's causing him not to practice fully. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is going to all work out, how Ray Rice and the Ravens are going to use Ray Rice this week. So, but I believe that Ray will play and that Shake and Bake will win. So that's my prediction for that matchup this week. The last matchup is Craig's Trinity War Dogs versus Paul's Sophia Slawcats. The 2-4 War Dogs, coming off a big victory over the beatdown last week, are going to play the Slawcats. And the thing about this matchup this week is the fact that the War Dogs are at full strength and the Slawcats are not because of buys. The Slawcats are missing several pieces. They're missing their 2 Indy wide receivers, Austin Collie and Reggie Wayne. They're also missing LaDainian Tomlinson. And Dustin Keller's also out for them on bye. So the Slawcats have got some catching up to do as far as filling in those spots that they're going to be missing. They've got some pieces that they can plug in, and it's going to depend on how they perform as to what the outcome of this matchup is going to be for this week. Trinity War Dogs are at full strength. No one's on bye on their team this week, and that's surprising. Usually you have at least 1 or 2 guys on bye, but not this week. This week, Trinity War Dogs are going to be at full strength versus the Slawcats, and I predict a War Dog victory. I think the Slawcats have been weakened because of no LT and no Reggie Wayne, and I believe that the War Dogs will take the measure of the Slawcats this week, and the War Dogs will stay in contention for that playoff spot. So those are my predictions for the week. Hopefully I can come up with another 6-0 week or something there close to it, and I hope everyone has a great week, and good luck to everyone. Talk to you later.